So good start for you guys. Bit of a Grinch who stole Christmas, taking out the home team, but you got to do what you got to do, and you got no second life in this event.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of a rough start. I mean, he made a couple good shots in one, so it gets a little uneasy knowing, like you said, it's single knockout. Unique event. You can't afford really a bad end even. So, but we got the job done. Bounced back good, and that's good to get a game under our belts. We should play a little better tomorrow.
How much value is there in playing an event like this? Obviously, you've never been in a single knockout of this stage in the season, but how much value is there in playing situations like that, particularly for a new team and a new lineup in terms of gelling?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it makes you kind of really get in the game right from the start of an event. You know, some events, you have a bad end or a bad game, it's really not a big deal. Triple knockouts, you just got to make it to the playoffs. But here, you can't afford maybe a bad miss, bad end, and you know you're probably going home. So it's good for us to, you know, the bigger the games, for us to get to know each other. How we'll react in those situations is good. So you know, this event has come at a really good time for us.
Jack Smeltzer, I think he was born 4 years after you won your first junior provincial. So
okay.
I guess you could, to reach out his shoes at his age, what he's learning from you and soaking up what you have experience-wise and so on. Like, remember what those days were like when you were coming up?
I don't know, and you know what? I mean, I would have never had an opportunity to play in an event like this. There's just way more opportunities now for the young teams, which is great. You know, they'll be able to learn from this and play on arena ice against a good team, and you know, they should be able to kind of help them, you know, have a good year, hopefully.
Line score, you know, you look at that and at first glance you look like a blow, but that was kind of close at the beginning.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you got a good grasp on it in the lens, though.
Yeah, I just like the ice was a little bit tricky for drawing, and we put a lot of pressure on them once we got that little lead and made them play all the hard shots. And honestly, sometimes when that happens and it's your first game event, it's tough as a skip to manage that. So, you know, we got fortunate early in the game and then kind of rode the momentum.
And it's super important to be able to pick up on the ice early in an event like this where it's win or go home, right?
Yeah, honestly, and sitting on the bench yesterday watching the girls play, watching that sheet, I thought it was very similar to what we played on today. So I was able to take some of that info from sheet C and look at sheet B.
You're alive on both sides of the brackets.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit busier here tomorrow.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously it's pretty, I know you were involved with them last year when they were getting into Worlds. What's it like to be here at this event, kind of doing double duty?
Oh, it's good. It's great. Like we're not playing a ton of games. It's not like a normal Bonspiel where you're set up to play round robin games, or like the Brier, you're playing 13 games sometimes. So for me, I'm able to help out with both, and the girls are also very understanding. They know that if I have a game and I can't make like their game, they're understanding of that. But so far with the way the draw times are set up, I'm able to do both.
What's it been like reuniting with Jason? Some of my earliest memories personally, like watching you guys just fresh out of juniors taking on the men's team.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's hard to not bring a smile to my face thinking about that. Just like we were both, we're probably a little bit shorter, maybe a little leaner, and just full of energy back then. And things haven't really changed on that side for him. He's still full of energy, and he brings he's one of the older guys on our team, but he brings a lot of energy to our team, and he's youthful.
What's that? I think Derek was there with a year for you guys.
Back in the day. Yeah, Derek. So when we were 20, our first year into men's, the three of us had curled together, and Jason had played with Derek in some of the junior years. But my first experience with Jason was our first year of men's with Derek, and we had a few good years there together.
It's kind of cool how it comes full circle now, right?
And honestly, I'm kind of getting to probably the end of my career. I don't know how many quads I'm still going to play. I'm committed obviously to this one. So, I started my men's career with Jason, and who knows, I might be ending it. You never know.
You talked about what hadn't changed, being wiry, full of energy and that type of stuff. What has changed? Yeah, honestly, maybe just a little bit more consistent. And I have to say the same about my game too. When you're 20 to 23 years old, that was kind of that stretch that we had curled together. We still had a lot to learn, and it's not that we don't now, because we definitely do, and I'm still learning every day. But I would say that
we're a little bit more even keel. I don't personally get quite as excited as I did back then, and I also think that now we're also really used to the big game pressure, whereas before we weren't. We could still play and compete, but overall consistent, in a normal curling year where you're playing big games all the time, I'd say that veteran experience has helped.
Last one, I mean, obviously your goal would have been to get to a Brier back then with him. It seems like it'd be a reality now. That must be pretty cool to think about.
Yeah, and we hadn't. We came really close to our first year in men's, losing the final to Stoughton. But yeah, like to get back there would be awesome, and hopefully win the thing.
Good start for you, obviously. You got the W in probably among the more unique events you've ever played in September, I would think.
Yeah.
How did it feel up there?
It felt good. It felt nice to be back out on the ice. The ice had a lot of curl, which was great. The crowd was awesome. Trying to find the sea legs, I think we missed some shots that we normally wouldn't, but first event, we haven't been on the ice that much, so you're gonna see a few misses out of us this week, but hopefully we can make more than what we miss.
You got to temper expectations, all things considered, right? Obviously, a veteran team and the time of year and some tricky ice with the weather, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The ice wasn't too tricky. It was a little tough, but I think it's going to get better once this rain stops. And yeah, we don't have huge expectations coming in here. Like most teams, we were talking to John Epping in the locker room. This is his 5th event already this year. It's our first time on the ice, so it's we're not expecting too much, but I think we'd also be disappointed if we weren't there at the end of the week.
And the chance to play the club champions, obviously it looked like you guys were having some good conversations out there. Just the thought on whether you guys would all consider growing beards.
Well, there was a lot of beard envy out there. I think we can't do what they can do as far as the beards. That was impressive. But we had a lot of fun. They were a great bunch of guys. They made some good shots as well, and it was fun being out there.
Well, John, I'm sure you looked at that first round matchup and thought this is going to be very interesting, and it sure was up there. It must have been nice to win that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a team that we're going to see a lot this year, I'm sure. Obviously, now being from Ontario, Mikey, and that's the second time we've played them, and we'll see them a bunch. It was a lot of fun out there. It was a wild game. Lots of unfortunate misses, and then some great ones too.
Is it too early to send messages that kind of resonate later in the season? I mean, is there such a thing at this time of year?
Yeah, I don't think there is many messages being sent. I think it's just some former teammates battling out there and having some good laughs. Love those guys and love. It's gonna be fun playing against them lots.
And the format where you come in with, you don't have an insurance policy, you don't have a triple knockout. How did that change the mindset going into tonight and into the event?
You know what? We didn't think much about it. We just want to go out, play well. We're happy to be playing, here in New Brunswick again in front of lots of people, which is exciting on TV. I mean, that's all you can ask for. So, win or lose, going home single knockout. It is what it is, and we didn't put too much thought into it at all, actually.
How are your brackets looking?
Tricky, it looks like. Tricky. So, I wonder if somebody's going to win that million, because, boy, it'd be really hard to pick everybody out here.
No kidding.